Hey guys, welcome back to Cuban Fever. Today I have a guide that you can use to become sub 40. I put together a slides presentation for you guys to follow along, especially if you're averaging sub 60 or sub 50. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now you're sub 60, so what should you do next? The first thing you want to do is you want to practice until you're confident with solving the cube in less than a minute. This is really important because before you move on to becoming sub 40 or sub 50, you want to make sure you can solve it in less than a minute. The next thing you want to do is use a smooth, reliable cube. So maybe you can get a nice speed cube like a Moyu or a Kui or maybe even a GAN. Next, you want to use a stopwatch or a timer to analyze each part of your solve, and I'll be talking more about this on the next slide. This is a really important thing that I want to talk about. You should start solving the cross on the bottom rather than on the top. It's more efficient and it saves time because you don't rotate the cube, which takes like 1 or 2 seconds, and it allows you to smoothly transition to second layer. In my tutorial for the 3x3 on my channel, which was my first video, I taught how to solve the cross on the bottom rather than the top, because if you learn how to solve it on the bottom and you learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube, you don't need to change your ways from solving it on the top to solving it on the bottom, so it makes the transition much easier. Next, you want to learn keyhole method. I have a video on my channel and it's right here. It's great for decreasing times during the beginner's method solves, and it serves as an intro to F2L. It is very much possible to achieve sub 40 using beginner's method if you practice enough and follow these tips that I give you in this guide. People have achieved sub 10. Yeah, I've seen a video on sub 10 that using the beginner's method, so sub 40 should be a breeze. Next, how can you improve yourselves? The thing that I recommend the most is you want to design a timetable for each aspect of the beginner's method. It helps you to set a realistic goal and work toward it. This is by far one of the most effective ways to improve your solving and your efficiency in general. My recommended timetable to focus on is a 5-second cross. So you want to practice as much as you can for the cross, especially. The cross will determine your overall solve. If you have a 2-second cross, you'll have a much faster solve. If you have a 5-second cross, you'll have a general solve, and then if you have a 10-second cross, then you're going to spend more time than you think you are going to do. So first thing you should do is you should have a 5-second cross. So practice your cross until you got it down under 5 seconds. One way you can achieve this is that you can start by solving the cross in 8 moves or less. So try to find more efficient ways that you can use to solve the cross, and if you use these efficient ways, you can solve it usually in 5 seconds or less. After your cross is 5 seconds or less, then move on to the next step, which is a 20-second second layer. So you want to spend no more than 6 or 7 seconds top inserting the white corners to finish the first layer. Then you have 12 or 13 seconds, which is a lot, to insert the edges. So combined, you should spend more than 25 seconds on the cross and the second layer. So practice each individual step until you match my recommended timetable. Next is 7-second to look OLL. So considering you know to look OLL, if you don't, then I suggest you learn to look OLL right now. If you use to look OLL and practice, you can easily achieve 7 seconds or less. So practice your OLL, drill those OLLs, and practice until your time is 7 seconds or less. The final step is you want to aim for a 5-second to look PLL. PLL is shorter than OLL, so you can generally solve it in 5 seconds or less. Again, you want to drill those PLLs and make sure you have it down in under 5 seconds. To summarize, you want to use a stopwatch to time each individual part and analyze what you need to improve on. So whether it's your cross you need to improve on, maybe how efficient your cross is, or maybe your second layer, maybe you need to identify corners faster, or maybe your OLL algorithms take you a long time to remember. So make sure your OLL and PLLs are muscle memory. This is what I suggest: is you want all your algorithms to be muscle memory. That itself will get you to sub 40. Next, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough solve.
So let me do a walkthrough sub-40 solve. It really helps to go slow in the beginning since it improves your efficiency.
First I'll inspect the cube and then I'll start solving it. Three, two, one.
So right here I have a short cross around 4 or 5 moves, and then I smoothly transition into second layer, which I solve pretty quickly. First the corners and then the edges, and then I smoothly transition to third layer right about, I think in a few seconds, right about here. And then I finish off the top layer with the oral algorithms, and then I transition to PLL and finish off the cube.
And there you guys have it, a sub-40 solve.
Thanks for watching, guys. The most two important tips from today's video were to get creative and try to imagine out your cross during your inspection time, and start slow. Start by solving slow so you'll get the hang of it and get more efficient at solving the cube.